Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Board YouTube channel for a new NBA season. This is year 3 of presenting Pick and Roll with myself, Jacob Gramegna, and my co-host next to me, PipsNBA. We are so excited to be back for this season. Hopefully, you already caught our season preview, but we're out here for another season, and we're going to be changing things up a little bit this season. First of all, for the show, we got to say that we are presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook. Thank you so much to FanDuel for sponsoring the board's NBA content all throughout this season. And it's a great time to get involved with FanDuel because for FanDuel right now, if you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, you can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets on any winning bet. If you're an existing customer right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is place any $5 bet on the NBA. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app or check it out with the link that is in the description to get in on the action. But must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus present in DC. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refund. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at fanduel.sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinglinehelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Let's get into the business here for the show today. So how things are going to be changing up this season. We're going to be taking you through the full slate of games. Tomorrow there's 2 games. We're going through both games. Along the way, we'll be hearing what Pips' favorite picks are for the show. And to start the season, we do have a free pick coming your way, but also at the end of the show, we do have a big SGP coming your way. Pips, I know it's the start of the season, but how are you feeling confidence-wise, betting-wise, heading into the new year?
The opening lines were terrible. Like, I expected bookies to be more sharp this season, some improvements, but opening lines were disaster.
They're
Kind
good
of
for
good.
us. They're bad for the
Yeah,
bookies, you say.
yeah, bet for bookies. I mean they're open for like 6 days, so sharp bettors made the line way better up to till now. But there are still some spots that are worth taking. But yeah, this is like a good thing, like seeing that they didn't improve much from the last season. So the edges should be there.
So obviously there are no games today, even though we are doing the show, but there are 2 games tomorrow we're going to be talking about. First of all, the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. Second of all, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers. We're doing the show today because, as Pips was saying, these lines have been out for a little while. So by tomorrow, they're probably going to be shaped a little bit more sharply. So we're going to be going in today. But how we're going to be changing things up for the show this season, along with going through the full slate of games, we're also going to be going over to you in the chat a lot more often. Any questions you may have for us, specifically perhaps some betting questions for Pips, or if you want to share what your bets are for the slate, you can please put them in the chat. I'll highlight them for myself and Pips, and after we go through the slate of games, we will dedicate an entire portion to questions from the chat and reacting to your bet. So if you want Pips' opinion on what your bet is, if you want any questions answered, please make sure you do get yourself involved with the chat. All right, let's dive into the first game that we have here. Again, the opening game of the season, it is the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. Spread for this one, even though the New York Knicks are actually second favorite in the Eastern Conference, as we saw in our preseason special. 5.5 on the spread for the Boston Celtics, -5.5, -110 on each side, -225 on the money line for the Celtics. Over-under sit at 233.5, slightly juiced towards the over there. Let's just get started on how we think this game is going to go. Boston, obviously the defending champions. It's ring night. The New York Knicks certainly going to be watching on, hoping that it's going to be their ring night next season. A little bit of motivation. How do you think the Knicks are going to click to start the season with so many different pieces joining in on a team?
I just want to comment 5.5 line without Porzingis, which is not a good sign for the matchup overall. When Porzingis is back, if Porzingis was playing, this will be probably 7.5, which is kind of an interesting line for a second best team against the best team. But yeah, I agree with the line because Knicks are just trying. I think Knicks will take time to be really good. They had some issues in preseason with defense. They were like a lot of miscommunications, giving wide open threes. So I think this will take time. Like playing with Towns is like a struggle on defensive end as itself, but with new guys on the team, I think it will take time to make it work. And yeah, I think this team will be good, but it will take time for them to like catch up on defensive end.
Yeah.
Offense should be good straight away.
I'm really excited to see how OG and Mikal Bridges look. Like when this team is really clicking, when this team is completely healthy. I'm really excited to see how those two click. But I am slightly concerned about Karl Anthony Towns defensively. I think the Knicks really have to be one of the top offense in the league, and I think they have the pieces to do that, but they'll need to be that good offensively to make up for the deficiencies that could exist for Cat as the anchor defensively. And I wonder if we'll see a lot of lineups where Cat's at the 4 and maybe somebody else at the 5 on defense.
Yeah, I think there will be like top 10 defense, top 10 offense, barely top 10 defense. I think they're probably locked for top 10 offense with Towns there
Yeah.
now. Yeah, but defense will be like I think they just need to be above average on defense, and that will be good enough. And that's not difficult with like great defensive guys like OG Anunoby, Hart, McBride, Mikal Bridges. I think they can do it. I think they can pull it off. Like being defense is probably the one of the most important stuff, and they have size and great defensive players there. The health will be important.
So let's start diving into the betting aspect behind this game here. Usually, when it comes to your bets, you look for specific matchups and how a player can exploit their matchup on the other end of the court. So, for this game in particular, who are the players you're looking at the most?
So as we have a guy in a thumbnail, Tatum is a guy that I kind of got interested in his assist, and I can show you how I'm going to proceed with it.
Yeah, let's take a
So
look.
so looking at the Tatum, I hope you guys see it. I usually when I'm looking at the player, the first thing I want to set up is his minutes. So you have filter for that, and I'll set the minutes. Like he's expected to play like opening game of the season, probably like 34 minutes, 38, 36 minutes. So I'll set it in the range of 28 to 30 38 minutes. And
Are
then
you able to zoom in for us a little bit? It's a tiny bit small.
I can do it like this. Is this better?
Better, much better.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm working through like the app that has all the data, and I'm like setting the filter when he played 28 to 38 minutes in the regular season, and now just setting the games when Jalen Brown was playing. I think he's kind of huge for his usage, and I'll just exclude like 8 worst defensive teams in the league. And as we can see on this line, Tatum is under this line in 18 out of 24 games. So he's under 5.5 assists in 75% of the games. Even if you look at the median at 4.5 assists, he's still under in he's still more under on 4.5, and we have a 5.5 line. And even if you take a look at the games where Porzingis was out, we can see that he's still underperforming against this line. So yeah, we can see that this is minus 122 on FanDuel. So this will be my first official bet of the season. Jason Tatum under 5.5 assists against great defense. I mean, above average defense of Knicks at minus 122 at FanDuel.
All right, so first official pick of the season is going to be going to Jason Tatum, and it's going to be under 5.5 assists, available at FanDuel for minus 122 odds. So there we go. That is where we are going to be getting things started today. As for maybe throughout the day, anybody else who has betting interest on the game, and just a general analysis towards the way you think this game is going to go today, what other matchups are you interested in looking at potentially for some action later on?
In Boston against the Knicks matchup. Yeah, I think this will be the interesting one because, as I said, in the preseason, Knicks defense looks kind of poor, but we have OG Anunoby against Jason Tatum. We have Mikal Bridges against Jalen Brown. So like Boston Celtics two best players are very difficult matchups. Like one of the most difficult matchups in the league. Like Jason Tatum against OG Anunoby. I don't think there is a more difficult matchup the entire season for Jason Tatum. Like Anunoby can contest everything and stay with him entire game. So I think they will struggle. So someone else need to step up. That could be Jalen. That could be Derek White or Drew Holiday. With also Horford could probably get some open threes with Towns probably being in drop coverage, and Horford should play like 25 or more minutes without Porzingis. So his lines could be like I think 8.5 could be an edge for betting on overs, but we don't know. Like I wouldn't make that official because he's old, so I don't know how they approach his minutes to start the season.
That's
So
fair.
yeah, that's it from that game. Don't know much new team on the Knicks, and I don't know how they look on defensive talent. So a
Yeah,
bit of a
final
game.
final word on this game here. Just overall, I know you said we have to wait and see how Towns looks, how the rest of the team looks, but as a whole on the season for the New York Knicks, what are your expectations for this team? What would you deem to be a successful season as far as the regular season is in terms of wins and how many wins, and what should be their expectation for playoff output?
They should be like first month of the season. I don't expect them to like go on a crazy run, but I expect them to ramp up the numbers and be a very better team in 2025. So like to start things look great in January. So yeah, I think this is like 53-4 wins team if no huge injuries, maybe even more. Probably second best team in the East, but wouldn't be surprised if they are fourth. Like they are, I think people are usually beat down on Cleveland Cavaliers and 76ers, but Cavaliers should be a great team. So yeah, I see Knicks being in a home team, being second to fourth seed, and I think that's a success. Is they if they came up if the playoffs are starting and they are healthy, at least their best players, that's a successful season for them, and they can do the damage in the playoffs.
So a successful season for the Knicks is being healthy when the playoffs start. That's
Yeah,
that's the status of this
yeah,
team. When you have Cat, when you have OG, I mean, if you have OG healthy for the playoffs, that is a massive plus. He just takes away the opposition's best player on a night-to-night basis, and we're kind of hoping for that today with Jason Tatum. I do think that the Knicks will feel like they have to at least make the conference finals to get themselves to make them feel like they've had a successful season here. I feel like if they repeat and lose second round, I know there were injuries that that should be blamed, rightfully so, but I think this team should be thinking that they got to get into the conference finals to feel like they're in the best position and they have found success this season.
yeah.
But let's shift over to two teams who also have high aspirations for the season. That is the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they still have high expectations. There may not be high expectations from people outside of the Lakers sphere, but the Los Angeles Lakers hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves for this one, and we don't have a big spread. We have a -1.5 spread in favor of the Timberwolves visiting the Lakers, -112 there. Lakers +1.5 at -108. Money lines at -122 for the Timberwolves, +104 for the Lakers. Over under for this one at over under 219, both at -110. First of all, on the line there, do you think this is an accurate reflection here? We have the Timberwolves, fresh off the trade, not quite completely healthy here, but coming off of an incredible season. Lakers, not so much. Lakers also haven't really done a lot with their offseason and starting the season with a new coach. Do you think this price is accurately reflecting the game?
I think I bet Wolves like a couple of weeks ago when the price was, I think, like even better price was. I took it, and I think this is should probably be a bit higher spread on the Wolves. I think they're a better team. But looking at the history with AD against Gobert, I think Lakers have their chance in this one, especially this early in the season with Wolves maybe trying to figure out something and Lakers being like together for some time. Yeah, no new coach, but that's just improvement. Like new coach for the Lakers, just improvement. They will be better under JJ. I looked at their offense throughout the preseason. It looks way more way more coaching out there, like more set action, more organized offense. I like that for them. Finally, some coach that could probably max out Anthony Davis and his offensive usage. So yeah, I think for a season opener, this is probably fair stuff. And yeah, I actually love this matchup. Like I love it even more than the Boston Celtics and Knicks. This will be an interesting game for sure.
So, what specifically within the game, you said you'd like the matchup. What specifically, player wise, player matchup wise, are you interested in looking for today to kind of give you a sense of where these teams and where the players are headed this season?
Last four games, Anthony Davis against Rudy Gobert, 38 points, 38 points, 31 points, 33 points. So yeah, that's the thing I'm looking forward to. Like yeah,
That's pretty good. So,
and
how's Gobert going to handle him today?
yeah, it's like all like Davis and Jokic doing always great against Gobert, always great. But they take away everything else. He's probably the only like defensive guy in the league that doesn't get help. Wembanyama moving forward, of course, but throughout the recent years, like the only player that doesn't get any help, like handling one-on-one against Jokic and AD, and that's why they put such a huge numbers on them. But if you shut down everyone else and doesn't create any spot up threes and stuff, open threes, that's a good thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup again tonight.
Yeah, that I mean that should be interesting with the way AD's kind of eaten up that matchup this season. Less size as well in the Timberwolves this year, so some adjustments certainly need to be made. I think a little bit for both teams going into the year. So it's always interesting to see. I mean, I think it's going to be incredible to watch JJ Redick's first game as a head coach, kind of thrown into this massive role, big X's and O's guy, but how is he going to
Yeah.
handle things? How are the Lakers going to buy into it? I would imagine they're going to buy in pretty well, but it's a very tough test to start the season. Uh,
I'll just say that I think I'm a huge fan of JJ Redick as a guy, off court, on the court player, and a coach. Even though he didn't just start it, it's thrown in a tough spot. But I think his X and O's will prevail here.
okay, we'll just have to wait and see, but I think it can. I like we said kind of at the in the summer as this was going down. We said it can be successful. So we will just have to see how things look over there. But no official picks for today's game. But if anybody has some bets they have for today, or if anybody is thinking about a bet and they want a second opinion on it, please let us know in the chat. I appreciate everybody who's shown out here today. We have some of the great viewers we had from last year, perhaps some new viewers as well. If you guys are enjoying the stream so far, make sure you do hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed to the Board YouTube channel. We're not going to be live tomorrow because we're doing today's show for tomorrow's game, but otherwise, pretty much every weekday, all throughout the NBA season, we're going to be live for Pick and Roll presented by FanDuel on the Board YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network. Again, make sure you are subscribed. I think we're getting pretty close here to 3,000 subscribers. Yes, less than 100 subscribers away from 3,000 on the channel, so please help us out, support the channel. Appreciate people like D. Shifty. We have Baja Boy, Matt Berger, Jerry We the Best, Anthony Serbo out here in the chat, along with some others, Bobby Turner, Chance W. Thank you, everybody. Again, any questions, please fire them away. Let's get started here with Baja Boy 07 asking for the show this season. And I guess we can specifically turn this over to Pips. But are you hesitant to bet overs in the beginning of the season due to shaking off the rust, as well as players moving teams, waiting to see how they play? What's your take on betting overs to start the season, Pips?
This is actually a good question. I always spend some time thinking about this every year. I think it's more. This is like some part of it, like shaking off the rust. But I'm thinking like, what are the coaching going to be? Refereeing going to be like? How much contact? Are we going to see like post All Star uh, physicality allowed, or are we like always early into the season like stuff like some easy buckets for everyone and a lot of free throws and a lot of contact not allowed? Like I don't know. Like I think it's fun. It's when they changed the ball like 3 seasons ago or something, if you remember.
Yes.
I think entire slate for the first month and a half was under on like 75% of the bets, like entire slate. And then they adjusted and settled. And last season was the other way around. Post All-Star numbers like dropped a ton, offensive ratings and offensive like scoring for players. Some players dropped like 3 to 4 points. Trae Young went from 29.5 lines to 23.5 lines, for example, and like some other players. So yeah, it will be interesting. Like if we get the postal, and they also actually said before the season started, they are looking to kind of move with FIBA officiating, like more contact allowed, as they seem to like understand that the audience enjoys that. So we're gonna see what did they manage to like. There are always players complaining like about physicality allowed. So yeah, we'll just need to wait open season openers to see what's going on defensive end and officiating.
I think it's tough to cast a net over like every play in the NBA when it comes to like overs, but there's probably going to be some soft spots for overs and for unders all over the player prop board. So it's all dependent on, if a player is in a new situation, what was their usage like in preseason? Are they up to speed already? A lot of factors kind of go into it. But for me, I'm personally not like more afraid of playing it over to start the season because oftentimes as well the line is adjusted accordingly going to the year that there could be some rust in that area, especially as the lines have been shaped at this point where these lines have been up for quite a few days. So for me, I'm not necessarily thinking about that too much going into the year, but it's definitely something to look at situationally for the player based on how prepared they are for the upcoming season. Let's go to D.Shifty's question here. Using the Prop Madness tool, and they've taken Jason Tatum over 0.5 steals, or I believe it's over 0.5 steals, and Peyton Pritchard over 0.5 threes at plus 100. How do you
That's
feel about these
interesting.
plays for the game?
I honestly won't comment. Still, I don't have a clue. Like I don't usually bet that market, but Peyton Pritchard threes does look interesting, and yeah, that this actually probably a really good bet to make, considering I just spoke how disorganized Knicks are on the they're disorganized on the defensive end. So this probably makes sense because they were allowing so many wide open looks throughout the season, preseason, and Peyton Pritchard without Porzingis should get minutes, and I think this is actually a good spot, especially at plus 100. So yeah, I think I kind of like this one.
Yeah, so I think this is an SGP that's been built out. I'll just build it out as well here on FanDuel so that we can see what it looks like right now. So we have Jason Tatum, 1+ steal, and I'll pull up if we have threes, player made threes, if we can get some alt lines potentially. Let me see Peyton Pritchard here. Okay, maybe not available
I think
here at the
he's
moment.
available for like. Can you go on the threes part? I think I saw him available
Yeah,
on the.
he's at 1.5 right now. I'm not sure if this was an SGP. Peyton Pritchard, yeah, over 1.5 at minus 120 is the spot. So
Yeah,
I think if you got 0.5 threes as a leg and you're still getting plus 100 there, and I think you're in a pretty good spot. Obviously, steals
yeah,
are
yeah.
difficult to predict, to calculate, but I think that's a decent spot to look
I
at
think
there.
like Pritchard overall, maybe even alone for over 1.5 three is a decent bet to make for a good price. So not making it official, but I kind of like the look because I thought he said over 1.5 threes for Pritchard.
Oh,
He's plus
I see.
100.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
it now.
yeah.
There's a 1+3 section. Uh, let's see. Okay, let's combine these. Let's combine
I
it
don't
for
think it's
steals.
plus 100 for on FanDuel, but we'll see. I think maybe need to.
Let's see. Yeah, minus 142 here. So if you got that at plus 100, I think you've
Yeah,
got yourself a pretty good spot. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I like your position. If you got that one early, as you see the line movement there, really good CLV on that one. So good spot. Moving
yeah.
forward.
Guys, like
Oh, go
if you
ahead.
want to build out Props on FanDuel, they are the sharpest book probably on them. And if you can find such a huge line discrepancy on the other books, just take it. That should be long term very profitable. Yeah.
Let's move to Daft Previews here, who questions how much stock you put into preseason usage from starters. So I'm assuming this is a question in terms of the lack of usage potentially for the starters in preseason. Do you buy into this at all? Do you put any stock into that?
First of all, big shout out to Dev Previews, one of the best YouTube channels for NBA props. And yeah, I do give out a lot of usage for this to usage preseason usage, but I do check where their other starters playing and in what were the minutes and how were they staggered. Does it make sense for the like if for example one game of Bronny everyone was out for the Lakers and of course he scored 17 points, like that's not going to translate to other games. But like for some other players, I don't know, like Jaren Jackson Jr. was out in every game for the Memphis. So looking at like the Zach Ide numbers, of course, it won't be the same. And Jaren Jackson is back throughout the entire season. So yeah, like I do like look a lot to preseason usage rates, but I do adjust it to like players missing out and the lineups they were playing in.
All right. So for me, a lot of it, I guess, would be dependent on the previous season. But if there's drastic shifts, as Pips was mentioning, then that's something to put stock into. Question from Leo B in chat. What are your thoughts on Anthony Davis over 0.5 threes? Pips, is the jump shot back? Does AD have it for this season? Is he healthy, ready to go?
I don't know if I want to answer to this because we have a big SGP coming, and this is one of the legs for it. So yeah, I do like AD over 0.5 threes. I think the line, I honestly, I got it earlier at plus 135, and I think now it's minus 120 somewhere like that range, and I think it should be even higher. So yeah, I like it because perfect spot. He shot more than six threes a game per 36 minutes in preseason. More than six threes a game in preseason, and he shot poorly, and he still made two threes per 36. So yeah, I kind of like it. And the biggest thing, like this is the best matchup for his threes entire season because Gobert is a sag off in drop coverage, and we'll say like 80. If you want to shoot at free throw extended or threes, do it. I just don't want to give you any layups, any dunks inside. So I think the looks will be there entire game. So if AD just continues the at least some usage of threes as he was in the preseason, this should be like 4 attempts, and we take with him and he take 4 attempts. I think he hit almost in like 85% of the game. So yeah.
So a little bit of a teaser for the big SGP that is on the way at the end of the show. Last question I think we have here before we'll move into that. Let's see what Dave Clark has to say. Who's on your shirt, Pips? There's apparently he may know, but what's the shirt for today? Ivica
Ivica
Zubac.
Zubac, the Godfather.
The Godfather.
Like, yeah, the Godfather Ivica Zubac. That's like a meme from Croatian team. They call Šarić and Bogdanovic and other players call him the Godfather, like Kum in Croatia, which is Godfather. So yeah, this is like Croatian merch on Ivica Zubac. Like,
why do they call him the Godfather?
Yeah, I don't know. Like that sounds like just Croatian stuff to like call that one of your best friends, and they just Croatian thing. So yeah.
Let me see if Basketball Reference considers that one of his
Yeah,
nicknames.
I don't think so. This is like
Big
internal
Zoo,
stuff.
Big Z,
This is some internal stuff from our Croatian national team with Bojan Bogdanovic, Dario Šarić, Mario Hezonja, and stuff like they are just inside stuff.
All right. Well, that will do it for the Q&A segment. Any extra ones perhaps we can get to at the end of the show. Let's go to what we've been waiting for here. We have the big SGP on FanDuel here. Let's see where we're going with this one. So we're in the Lakers game. You mentioned we're one of the legs involves Anthony Davis 3, but where are we going for this one? Walk me through your thoughts on this game.
As I already said, huge numbers for AD against Gobert as always, and I think he was putting JJ was putting him great spots throughout the preseason because, as we can see, I don't know if you guys know, we look at it in data, but he averaged 22 points in the preseason, AD in 25 minutes. So if you extrapolate that to 36 minutes, that's 30 points a game, and that this is a great matchup also. So I think 25 points for AD should be a lock for this one. I think the price is really good on this one. I think minus 125 on
Yeah.
FanDuel. And I think someone bet it during the show and they just moved our line.
What, the AD 3-point line?
83 points moved to 150 straight on the show.
150.
Like, yeah, like we just gave it out before and it now moved.
You
Guys,
guys are killing us.
yeah, I mean, I'll
Wait.
still give it out at the price. This
All
is
right.
the one I like. First part, Anthony Davis, Gobert in drop coverage. He'll get wide open threes. He'll get wide open mid range. Hopefully, his shooting is back this season. JJ should unlock it. History is well for matchups against. So last three matchups against Gobert, he averaged 35 points. He did make he averaged 1 3 also a game. So this is a great stuff for AD. Second part of this is our guy below. Both of us love him. That's Dante DiVincenzo. I'll go with 10 plus points and 2 plus threes. Last season, he never made 2 plus threes without scoring 10 points. And whenever he scored 2 threes, he scored more than 10. So yeah, this makes sense to go to combine together. So it's Dante DiVincenzo 10 plus points and 2 plus threes to make it.
Well, let's see. Let's see
Uh,
what we get here. Some of
I
y'all
think we
been.
get like 280 makes sense for me.
All right. So we have plus
272.
272.
Yeah, you guys moved out Big Sam Game Parlay from plus 300 to plus 272, but I still like it there. I think this is I expect Dante DiVincenzo to honestly crush it. I will bet him straight if it wasn't the first game of the season. So I'm just going with this one together in the same game parlay.
All right. So official bet, the big SGP, plus 272 odds at FanDuel. FanDuel, our presenting sponsor. We love using FanDuel. However, whatever's available in your region, you can also check out some other options for prices to see what is the best that is available to you. But for the show here, plus 272 is more than good enough to bet. Anthony Davis, 1 plus threes. Anthony Davis, 25 plus points. Dante DiVincenzo to score 10 plus points. And Dante DiVincenzo, 2 plus made threes. I mean, the DiVincenzo line, 11.5, it was 10.5. It's now 11.5. But DiVincenzo on his own, like, here's a guy who's projected to score like 16 points a game this season. Love his addition into this. I think, think you have the 2 plus 3. Think about the lack of shooting on this Minnesota Timberwolves team overall. He is going to have to absolutely launch from 3 this season, just as he was doing last year. So, really like the spot that we have here. We'll be a bit more careful about sharing information regarding the bets. That's on me. Maybe we should have answered the AD question a little bit later on because you guys are quick. And I also did notice that the Jason Tatum assist line got absolutely blasted by you guys. It's a testament to the amount of people we have here and the faith put in the pick and roll live stream right here on the Board YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in for the opening show of the season. We appreciate it. We hope that live viewers were able to get the line in that was given out. So the official picks for today, we just saw the big SGP at plus 272, but we also had Jason Tatum under 5.5 assists. I think we got that at minus 122 odds. Yes, indeed. But also with FanDuel, you have some boost tokens you can utilize, as Badger Boy puts in chat as well. Plus 409 with the boost token if you would like to play that as well. I would imagine if you're going to be using an SGP like this, you may as well use that boost token. So that's where we have it. That's where we'll end off for the season. Pips, just we'll give you one last word here. No show for tomorrow, but for the season, what can people expect out of the show? What's your excitement level for getting the season started?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably keep the similar format, going through the games, asking for you guys' plays, and kind of I'm going through it and sharing my opinion. But yeah, very very excited for the season. Looking forward to it, and we'll win some money again. Back to back profitable seasons. Well, like not nothing saying like nothing showing that it will change this season. So yeah, just keep up the good numbers.
Let's keep things going for this season. Indeed, back-to-back profitable seasons as a whole, and we're looking to make it 3 in a row. Pips' proclamation is it's going to happen. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to the show today. We really appreciate the support showing out at the start of the season. We hope to see you at the next one on Wednesday as we break down a bigger slate of NBA action. If you did enjoy the show, please make sure you smash that like button and consider subscribing to stay up to date for all the content that we have coming your way. Never miss out on one of the picks given out in the show by subscribing, and consider turning the notification bell on as well. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, FanDuel. And guys, let's have a great start to the season. We will see you again next time.